So Yogesh is from Adient, and Yogesh, I think before I ask you to talk about the question I'm going to ask you, talk about Adient also a little bit. I think interesting.
Yeah, sure.
And what I also wanted to check is from your industry perspective, where you come from, right? And I know you have again an experience which is different from what you used to do earlier. So how difficult has been the journey for you till now?
So, first, thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone, and to my fellow panelists, thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak out. I'm going to speak out by heart, and I'm pretty sure every one of us is going to going through the same experience.
Correct.
I can see the same age and the same experience, 20 odd years in IT arena. First thing, I'm from the IT services industry. I've been in 18 years odd in various IT service provider companies, data center management, and private and hybrid cloud and public cloud, and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Having learned all that nonsense, one thing I learned is not useful. Why is it not useful? Because unless and until you practically implement your knowledge and not keeping your SME hat out, learn what's going on in your backyard. That's most important thing.
Okay.
Keeping the SME hat out and learning the business. Then only you'll understand the P&L concept.
Okay.
And if you don't understand the P&L concept, whatever thanks to Abhijit for the firewall example. If you don't tell that to the business that if you don't do it, you have XYZ loss or XYZ on a hold, then only you will be on the same page to converse with business. That's point one.
Okay.
That's a challenge which I personally faced to learn it, to adapt it, and to deliver it. Second one, of course, bringing in, we all have advanced in our IT arena. Currently, we are talking about soft bots in our car segment also. By the way, Adient makes car seats. So in case you are driving any Suzuki in India, in case you are driving a Tata in India, and in case you are flying with Boeing, these seats are from Adient. Okay.
Interesting.
Including your Innova.
I'll remember this next time.
Yeah. So, and by the way, in recent 480s, that you'll see a Recaro label on the aeroplane seat.
Okay.
So that's from my company. Okay. So being said that, of course, we all have to bring ourselves at par to the competition. Not only match their technology, but also go one step ahead. And we also have to guide and get the work done at OEM side.
Okay.
Because those are our bread and butter. If Tata don't make a car, where will I sell my seat? That's the most important point. So if I have to uplift my technology, I have to also go and tell my OEM that, boss, we are upgrading. When are you going to upgrade? And of course, I'm not going to market VMware here, but we do have a consulting forums where we suggest where to go for as a technology. For example, I'll give you a recent. We have a e-invoice.
Okay.
So customer sends us the invoice because of the GST requirement and kind of. So it will come via to our portal from their portal. So portal integration is most important thing.
Okay.
And we run all that in our data center and their data center on VMware.
Okay.
By the way.
Okay.
So to make them realize why it is important is not to make things automated. By the way, by making things automated, we don't lose jobs. That was a pre-mindset. Rather, the mammoths which were running in the organization had the mindset that they cannot, they'll lose their job by doing the automation. That thought process, we had to throw it off the table before bringing any cultural change in the organization. And of course, these are internal and external challenges.
Correct.
And offering a common practice solution, that was the most important. Integration of the application, whether you call it as HR, or whether it's ITES, or the experience. For me, the most important thing is, at the end of the day, the technician who scans that label at my JIT system and tells me that the product which we used to make at 20 minutes, now it is in 3.5 minutes. That's the most satisfying answer that I receive from that technician. And that's where the importance of IT department making a profit center in the organization, in the manufacturing and auto organization, is most satisfying to me.
Yeah. So I heard that, Yogesh. So I think congratulations to you. I think changing an IT to a profit center, I think, is something which I've heard every IT person saying that's the first thing we would want to do. So thanks a lot. Any questions to these gentlemen?
This is Hitesh. Actually, I have a question for this gentleman. I forgot your name.
Ram?
Sorry. Yeah. So you mentioned that if you compare two countries, like just you compare USA students are far faster than the Indian students. How do you calculate that, and what can be done to remediate that?
First of all, it's not about the comparison. If you are talking about the admission system, for example, admission system about 4 to 5 years back, the way if you are sitting in India and if you try to get the information about the universities across the US, so you'll be able to see, manage, compare and understand that what were the basic idea for a university to become a #1 ranked university. Okay, but if you nowadays situation is something different, that where nowadays we are also getting the rankings in India also, but earlier the pace was something different. So when we are talking about these two things, so definitely it's not about the students, otherwise we could not send these many students to USA.
Yeah.
Okay. Because their economy, definitely it's a major part where we are contributing. Okay. Vice versa, we are not getting anything from them. That's very crude fact, but we have to accept it. Okay. So
Okay.
I think I have
Thank you.
answered that.
Hopefully he has answered your question.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I have a query for you itself. You said that apart from the syllabus, you are arranging some technical sessions or what current industry require. So I would like to know what
Difficult
is
day for you, Ram, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. I would be more than happy to answer this because we have to. Yes.
So
please.
basically, my background is from education institute. So I want to know this. What is the response of the students, and how exactly you are increasing? If it is very poor, then what steps are you taking to increase this response?
See, the main thing is that we have to build the interest into the student, that we have to show them that, okay, if you are talking about the virtualization, then we have to tell the students that, okay, now you are able to see the desktop. Okay, so what if I want to make this virtualized? What if you want to see whatever is running over your desktop on your cell phone through an app? So likewise, we have to create the interest. Like our little, my son. Okay, my son is like 7 years old. Okay, so if I want to teach him anything new, so how I can do it? Nowadays you can hear the various apps, Byju's app, which is available. So the young generation, which is nowadays is there, so they are more into that you have to build the interest into the students. If not, then definitely you have the other way around. You have to work it out, because ultimately, as the digital transformation where you want to see the output, means you will be sending more and more number of students to the industry.
Thank you, Ram.
To meet that, definitely by hook or crook, you have to do it.
Thank you, Ram.
So that's what.
There are different business verticals. If you see, there is telecom, there is healthcare, there is banking, there is media. But in between all of them, if you consider banking, the management folks who are owning the bodies of bank, were the directors who were governing the bodies and regulating all the rules from CRBI. So if you consider banking, there is a confidential data, there is a secrecy, there is a privacy. So compared to all of them, for rest of the setups, we can easily migrate to virtualization or cloud computing in terms of their legacy setups. But when it comes to banking, folks of the management are very reluctant to migrate their entire setup. So what business language we could use to convince them?
Okay, so maybe I can give you a tip, and then if anyone wants to join me. So there are two parts, right? We have a lot of banks as a customer today, VMware. They're running their private cloud, right, on VMware. Now, what the understanding is, the regulations which when you talk of, there are two kind of data. One is my data of which my bank has, right, which is a customer data for them. And one is their data, their own data, which could be for MIS, right? So there are customers who are using cloud, public cloud services for their own MIS data. There are banks. However, yes, you're right. For customer data, I think regulation says they have to be within the country. That's how it is, right? But yes, from a private cloud, I think there are so many customers who have taken into this journey, right? Otherwise, I think as you have heard everyone speak, they will lose out on agility, right? They will spending more, right? So that's how the whole journey is.
And how is the comparison between all other banks, say MNC, say Barclays, Credit Suisse, or UBS kind of things? And
Barclays, I won't know honestly, but I think the Indian, I'm talking of India, right? We are, so I'll give an example. I hope I'm able to, I should take the name. The largest bank of India, right? And I know whom I am referring to. And they have branches everywhere. So when they started off their journey, right, think of the humongous numbers which I'm talking of, right? So there are one bank today who are using everything, and fortunately everything from VMware, starting from all the employees using their mobility for workforce, what we talk of workspace one, to have access to all their applications securely. They have transformed their the branch operations, right? So there's a huge transformation. So the bank I'm referring to, the largest, and then there are so many other government banks, then private banks, they're all on this journey.
I'm Yogesh Jadhav, and my question is to the Yogesh. As you said about your key points, if you are using updated technology, then you will convey your OEM, right? Okay, use this technology. If in case, suppose you have a updated technology and OEM is not ready to adopt that technology, management is not ready to use that technology. In that case, in that scenario, what will be your action point?
Yes, there are two sides to this, to every coin, you know. We have to uplift ourselves, point one, and we have to uplift our partner. So the very first thing which I did, probably this can work for all of us, is I scheduled a face-to-face off-site talks with my OEMs to understand what do they do, how do they do. And sometimes by learning as well as by sharing and caring for them helps us grow our business and their business. Because yes, we are dependent on them, but they are also equally dependent on us. So especially this, I'm referring back to GST. That was a key element connecting everyone. And it was a game, I'm pretty sure it will be a game changer for our industry practices next 3 years. Because everybody has to comply with that.
Any last question? Anyone?
My question is for Raval sir. So the thing is that whatever things we have discussed, okay, most of the things, I'm not saying all, but most of the things they are applicable to less to the production. Okay, if it is not IT industry, since you are not from IT industry, so so far as production or actual field is concerned, so how this technology disruptions or all the other things which otherwise are helpful for the managers like MIS or for MIS or DSS or whatever, or customer satisfaction. So apart from these disruptions or the the technological advancements, how it is related to your field so far as production and fields are concerned?
Typically, when you have this factor called what is it for me, when you excite that for a end user, then automatically technology adoption happens. Now I'll give you an example. We have some remote sites where connectivity is difficult. When people go on field to do an inspection, they used to take a paper and then tick mark something, okay, that tested, oil changed, and then come back, and then when they come to the base, they will upload in the system. It might take 2-3 days. Okay. Once you give them a tab, and the moment they select a model, they get a picture of it. They take a photograph before inspection, they take an photograph after the preventive maintenance done, and then upload it. They might not get connectivity, but when they come to the base, automatically everything is updated. So now they don't need to maintain paper, they don't have to remember anything. So when they themselves realize that it's better for us, then adoption is faster. See, worldwide, on a lighter note, you have seen that IT systems are sometimes sluggish because IT guys, they think that everything is easy, but business users find it very difficult. But I am yet to see a reimbursement claim system to be trained. Everybody uses it very well. Right? Yeah.
Well said. I think that's, everyone can relate to this. I think thanks a lot, everyone, for this time.